Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday, 7:30 a.m. here on the East Coast. Prices of BTC currently at 10,222 as per Bybit Exchange. If you were part of our community for the last few days in the Cryptosomniac Advantage side, you've been trading leverage with us, either longing or shorting. And as you can see, these gains, people have seen incredible results. Because right now the market is not giving you any other opportunities for alts. It's really just BTC, and if you can sort of properly trade this chop, typically I don't recommend trading chop because this right here, this is all chop. Okay, chop is basically this sideways movement, this consolidation period. Most people would recommend not trading it because they don't understand how to trade it. Okay. But if you're with us, to successfully be able to trade some of these movements. Now, we may not be able to guarantee you exact, catching the bottom right here and selling top right here. But there are times where we often do catch, somewhere near the top, sell somewhere near the bottom, or get multiple trades in these movements. Like from this top to this bottom, we caught a couple. From this top, actually, we got in exactly right around 10,900. We sold at around 10,700, but then got back in a trade around 10.5. And, oftentimes I do post a proof here as well, okay? So here's the, I'm closing out on my short right here. I got in 10,500. Here was the proof of the short that I added, as you can see right there. I didn't want to display my quantity and my value of the short, but you can see it's right there. Okay, so that is a short position because it's a short because my liquidation price is higher than my entry price. Okay, and you can see where I posted this. You can see price was right around 10,520 when the prices were taking off right here on the 1 hour. Okay, so we were somewhere over here. Okay, when prices were starting to take off, actually right here. And I bought in somewhere around up here. Okay, and then I sold, I think just yesterday, so somewhere around this area right here. All right. Okay, so now with that being said, okay, if you don't understand how to trade leverage or longing or shorting, if you don't understand how to, even read these analyses that I'm making, come join the Advantage program. All right, if you go to cryptosomniac.com right here and you hit the products page right there, all right, you can buy my technical analysis course. That gives you 7 free days to access all these locked channels that you see. Every single one of these locked channels has unique information for you to be able to educate yourself and make yourself a better trader, a better investor, and just an overall person who can understand the markets better. All right, and also you'll be able to spot the bullshitters in crypto Twitter. All right, so here we go. Okay, first things first, let's get to the 1 hour chart. A few days back I did mention in our Advantage community that this more than likely is your little bull trap or retrace, and this is the area that we got in. So it takes some guts sometimes to be able to sort of go like this and say, what, somewhere around this area right here, all right, in the 50 and the 618 fib, that would be the ideal area to short. Okay, let me turn this on. All right, so you can see right there, we're just breaching into this area from this top that we had to this bottom drop that we had, right? The perfect area to short was when price retraced like this all the way up. Okay, now if you don't understand why you need to short on the retrace like this, that's another thing that you will learn in our community, as well as this analysis course right here, the technical analysis course that I made. Okay, now if you are someone who gets into trades, if you're thinking about shorting and you short basically this cluster right here and you get weeded out of your trade while it's going back up, you are the kind of person who is going to benefit in understanding why to be patient in trading, why to understand technicals, all right? Not just the fact that it's just dropping and that's all you see, but rather why is it dropping, where is it dropping to, and where it could come back up towards, right? So let me sort of lay that out for you, okay? So on the 1 hour chart, what we saw was in this area right here, when we were back here in the beginning of September, the area between 10,450 and down to about 10,300, this yellow block right here was this consolidation period. Okay, so for the most part, we knew that when this candle went like this, okay, more than likely it was going to hold this area for a little bit, okay? And as you can see, it did hold it, climbed back up, retrace, loaded up on more shorts, and then pulled back down, okay? Now this then happened right here, which is again called a bear trap, because this is trying to signal to you that we're going to go lower and lower, but really what happens is you catch fresh demand down here, and then you push back up, then you get rejected in this same area that was support right here and is now resistance. Okay, so what this tells us is there's a lot of professionals running this market. Okay, and if you understand how to read this market, like this candle right here, yesterday during my sort of Advantage member video, this happened while I was actually streaming, and people were freaking out. And I said, well, there's nothing to worry about. This is really just a running of the shorts right here, the late shorts. The people who decide to short down here or even right here and place their stops right here, they all got pushed out of their trade. Because when you enter a short right here, your stop will probably be somewhere around here, or maybe somewhere close to here or right here, right? But the thing is, when you enter a short that's high leverage, like 25, 50x, 100x over here, your stop is definitely in this region, and you just got ran out of your position by this wick right here. These wicks, these candles are almost always generated to engineer people to be kicked out of their trade. Why? Because this is really a big liquidity hunt, okay? If you understand that price is always going to gravitate towards the area that has the most vulnerable people, then you know to position yourself, better than shorting down here or shorting here with the stop right here, okay? So understanding where to position yourself properly and how to do so is by far one of the most effective ways that you will be successful in this market. But if you're not, and you keep getting kicked out of your position by, buying down here as a short, selling up here because you're deep into the red territory, or shorting down here, or longing up here and thinking that we're going to go higher, but then price comes back down, right? So these are the things that you can understand when you come join Cryptosomniac Advantage program, okay? All right, so going back to this analysis on the 1 hour chart, this sideways consolidation period right here, it's really now telling us that we are being rejected by the same area that was once support. This was support right here, as you can see. But once it broke down right here, as you can see right here, it rolled over. It's now just become resistance. And you can see that by, sort of this double toppiness and now lower high right here. Okay, so this lower high is a good example of why, this area is probably going to break down sooner than later. However, the 4 hour and the daily actually spell something interesting. Actually, let me go to the RSI first, okay? So here's something interesting with the RSI, all right? The RSI right here, okay, is looking like something like this. Okay, so we have that one descending trend line, and then we have maybe something like this guy right here. There's a couple of them right now. So I like drawing these out because I like to see each one get broken successfully, to see at least, if you're looking to get back into a trade, you can wait for the first trend line to get broken, or you can wait for at least one or two to get broken for confirmation. Because sometimes, what you'll have the RSI do is go like this, break out this one, not really reach up here, but then come back down again. So this way, when you break out of two trend lines, you're sure that, okay, price is really starting to move, rather than going around something like this and then coming back down again. Okay, So this is really what I'm looking at in terms of the RSI. Okay, so as you can see, nothing special is happening in the RSI, and the RSI helps us understand, sort of the momentum of overbought and oversold conditions. And in this case, price is really not doing anything other than creating these lower highs on the RSI. Really just creating steeper and steeper trend lines, as you can see. So nothing special. Now, if we get to our 4-hour chart, okay, so here's something interesting on the 4-hour, okay. On the 4-hour chart, all right, again, we shorted up here, okay, around 10,900 or so, and we let go of our trade somewhere around 10.7 or so. And then we shorted again, and I want to show you guys that proof because I know a lot of people in this space don't like to show you proof, but I will, because I want to show you exactly what we're playing with here. Let's see. Where's our short? There it is. Actually, this was our long, actually. So this was one of the long positions. I averaged in right around 10.7, 10.8. So that's when this was over here. So when we were pushing out of this area right here, okay, so when we broke out of here, actually, I longed right here and I sold up here. Why? Because this was such an easy trade. Okay, we first saw this SFP right here, and I waited for this gold box right here to hold. Okay, one thing about being a successful trader is, oftentimes the unsuccessful people will enter a trade and wait for price to do something. The successful traders will wait for price to do something, something meaning that it validates their technical conditions, and then enter a trade. So you can see the stark difference between the successful, the patient, and the unsuccessful, the impatient, right? So the successful, right, at least in our community, we waited for this break above this level right here on a close of a 1 hour or a 2 hour at the very least. Luckily, we got a 4-hour close above this area right here at 10,720. When we did get this close, we entered on this candle, and in less than, I would say, 4 or 5 hours, we closed up here. Okay, so what this gave us is an easy long position without really any risk, okay? Because we knew that the resistance was in this red block right here, right? So if I go back, zoom out, I knew that the support right here had been tapped. I knew that this resistance right here, right around the SFP 10,720 had been broken. The next resistance is 10,900 or so. So all I had to do was just ride this trade up, sell up here. Don't even think about thinking that, this is going to break out. Just buy support, sell resistance, get in, get out. That's it. Now, after that, what we did was we entered a short. Okay, here's the short. Just after this trade, as you can see, the exit price 10,920, all right, you can see all the timestamps are right here. Okay, then I entered a short entry point right there, and then I was looking for these target points. Okay, so this is exactly where I entered the short, right near this candle top. Okay, and then I rode this down somewhere around here, and I sold because I didn't know that we were going to go down more further, because for everything that I knew was that this area right here had been broken. So more than likely we're going to come retest this area of support, maybe bounce back up, create a double top, and then go down, right? So in terms of technicals, I had no idea if this was going to just slice through everything. Okay, all I knew was that I'm going to short up here and I'm going to sell this support right here. And then this broke right on through. Then I just waited, and then I waited up here. Then I shorted again in this cluster, and then I sold just yesterday right here. All right, so very easy, successful trading, as you can see, and all of the proof is right here in this channel. Okay, so if you want to come join, you can see that for yourself. All right, now going back to the technicals, on the 4-hour chart, you can see that we've now hit the same gold box as resistance. Every time, as you can see with these arrows, every time it's been resistance, we've pushed down even further, especially when we go like this. We've, broken above this area, hit this red box up here, then come back around, hit it as resistance, and then we go down even further. Okay, so what we need to see is this. Okay, we've already, actually over here, we've went above into the red box, we came back around, went above this gold box again, tested it as resistance again. So now what we're really looking for is more potential downside. Okay, now here's the interesting thing on the daily chart, and this is something that I don't like on the daily. All right, this red candle, okay, I want you to look up here, okay, where it says open and then close. Right, this red candle you can see opened at 10,401, and you can see it closed at 10,310. Right, now look over here. Okay, this candle opened at 10,308, meaning that this green candle's open down here, they close up here. Okay, and this candle right here opened at 10,574 and closed at 10,308.92. So both of these right here, okay, were lower in terms of open and closings than this candle right here. Now typically I look at this as a SFP, just like I showed you guys this being the SFP right here. Well, so what does this mean? Okay, if we go on this daily chart, I'll actually show you multiple SFPs. Okay, so first one, actually, here, let me go back and show you this one first. I'm gonna move this. So here's your previous SFP right here. Okay, so again, look over here. Okay, the closing of this candle was 10,495, right? The closing of this, or actually the open of this candle, because this candle opens down here, is 10,469. Okay, so you can see right here, closing of this candle, 10,495 and 10,469. Okay, so that means that this candle right here closed higher than this one opened and this one closed. Okay, so, and even these two right here. All right, so you can see right here that this is an SFP, meaning that this is a swing failure pattern. This is an indication showing you that, oh, it looks like we're going to go much lower, but really what happened is, as per this swing right here and this swing, we closed higher. Okay, so what this tells you is maybe we're not, you know, pressuring the price lower as people think. Maybe this might be a potential reversal point. And so that brings us to now over here, yesterday's daily candle. Again, 10,310 right here on the closing, right, which is higher than this open right here, 10,308, and this closing right here, 10,308. So what this tells me is this cluster right here is an SFP. Okay, so whatever you're seeing in this daily candle right now, personally, I think that at some point during the day, this candle is going to flip back around just a little bit. Okay, it may even go as high as touching, you know, this descending trend line again. And I think this will be the perfect way to be able to stop out some, you know, late shorters right here, because if you hit the top right here, right, you then solidify on the weekly chart right here a pretty high wick. Okay, a wick all the way up to this area right here. And I think that'll give, you know, enough of an indication for people to FOMO going long. And then again, those same people will be trapped up here, and then the price will reverse. Okay, so this is personally what I think will happen. I'm not going to do anything until this daily candle closes, unless I see on the other smaller time frames, I see some scalp opportunities. But again, my advantage community will know exactly what I'm doing, because that's what they pay for, right? They also pay for, you know, people like myself at least showing that I'm not just, you know, sort of faking my positions, and I'm actually taking the trades that I'm talking about, like that. Or, you know, whenever I show you guys other gains, like over here, let's see, as you can see right there, right? So I'm taking the trades that I'm showing you, rather than, you know, most people just saying that they're doing this or that. All right, so that's one thing I hope you guys can appreciate about our community, because a lot of people, even, you know, over here, they will show you screenshots of what they do. Why? Because they want to, you know, be a part of a community that's open and transparent. Not anyone who judges you, but rather people who understand that no one is here to judge you, right? Even someone right here, they actually posted their entire, I mean, I don't recommend this, but obviously this person has a, you know, a lot of money, and you know, they're trading with us, right? And they're making some good money, as you can see. So, you know, with that being said, if you are someone who wants to, join a good community that understands how to trade properly, how to be more open, transparent, and you want to be part of a community that's supportive and helping you learn rather than criticizing or chastising you, come join. Okay. All right. Another thing on the daily chart that I had recognized a few days ago, okay, again, I pointed this out to my Advantage members, is I want you to notice that after each top, there's been a pretty, decent sized bearish candle, or maybe even, a couple days of bearishness, and then a redemption candle, we call it. All right, redemption candles are just that, which is, or rather, failed redemption candles are just that, which is, it looks like a pretty decent sized green candle. And it looks like, okay, we're going to have a follow-up green candle, and then we're going to go higher. But really what happens is the selling then resumes, right? So I want you to see right here, green candle. And let me turn on the volume to show you that. Green candle, and then 3 days of selling. Again, price goes back up, creates a top, 2 days of selling, green candle, and notice the volume on each one, okay? Redemption candle, volume much lower than this high volume, okay? Again, over here, redemption candle right here, much lower volume, and then 2 days of selling, another failed redemption candle, and then another massive day of selling, right? Even over here, redemption candle, look at the volume on this one, very low, right? And then 3 days of selling. So when we were over here, I mentioned the same thing. This is a failed redemption candle, most likely, low volume, right? And the volume on the sell side is starting to step up. But with this SFP that I just pointed out earlier, you may not get as deep of a candle in this one, or you may actually get a reversal potentially. Maybe, I don't know, today or tomorrow. But the SFP is only invalidated if today's red candle closes lower than this one and these two right here. So it has to close lower than $10,308. All right, so we're at $10,249. So you can wait till the end of the day to either short or long this thing. Okay, that's your call, not investment advice. All right. On the weekly time frame, again, we're just tightening up, coiling up. One thing that I've pointed out before is if you look at the MACD, right? The MACD's already crossed bearishly on the weekly. And I don't remember the last time the MACD crossed, this high in terms of its points on a bearish cross and didn't have, more significant downside selling for, a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months even, right? I guess it did that a bit over here. Well, no. See, over here, this is 700 points. Actually, these aren't even bearishly crossing. Yeah, so even over here, they had a small bear cross, but this is 100 points right here, right? We're currently at 1,300, right? So at this, high of a point level, especially the histogram now starting to tick down, I don't remember the last time I was doing this. So I don't see why we can't have more downside. And so for the people saying that, we have to go up, this is a bull pennant, I personally disagree because I think this is more of a descending triangle like I've drawn right here. And yesterday on Twitter, I actually had a conversation with Peter Brandt. It's actually available in the Twitter replies and stuff. And you can see that I pointed out this descending triangle and someone else pointed out that this was a symmetrical triangle. And Peter Brandt tended to agree with my assertion that this is a descending triangle, and he posted his own chart. Okay, so I tend to agree with what Peter Brandt is saying, and I personally think that this is a descending triangle. But descending triangles don't have to break down because more often than not, when price rises into the pattern, right, they do continue to the upside. Okay, they have a higher percentage of breaking to the upside, but that doesn't mean that they have to, because all the things that we've seen so far in terms of descending triangles, in this one right here, is volume is significantly dropping off. Each high that we create, there's significant selling happening, and that's typically not something that you want to see in a descending triangle. Okay, oftentimes you just want to see volume dying down overall, and you also want to see the triangle break out at least 60% of the way in. Most patterns should be breaking out maybe 50, 60, 70% max of the way in. We're now probably, if we start the triangle right here, over here, and the apex is down here, we're already 75, 80% into the triangle easily. Actually, I would say definitely 80%. So this is not something that you want to do, because what that will create, okay, this lowers the chance of the triangle breaking up because it does something like this, okay? So then it looks like this, all right? You can see right here in this descending triangle, price bled down all the way into the apex, moved sideways, and then crashed down. And so I don't see why we can't do that right here, right? I don't see why we can't just bleed into the apex and then drop down, because that's clearly what's already happening, right? All right, let's see, what else? Let's see how Ether is doing. I took a quick trade on Ether the other day. It wasn't really much of a gainer, but I got in around like 179.7, 180, and then sold around like 182 or 183. It's a quick scalp because we're already hitting this yellow resistance area. I don't know if we're going to get past it soon, but the reason I got in it is because we broke this descending trend line that we've been holding for like 3 months now, over 3 months. You can see, touch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches, pull back, and then push out. So on this push out right here, I mean, I think it's a good opportunity, at least, that I took the scalp. But then I saw this big sort of fake out that happened yesterday in Bitcoin, and that pushed me out of this trade because I didn't want things to tank much further. All right, so I got my gain and I walked away. All right, XRP, let's see. XRP is just really not doing well. I don't know what to tell you guys. I've told y'all since way back here in May or April, where is it? Way back over here. When I started drawing this chart out, I think price was somewhere around here, this blue level. And I say that if price started breaking down past this blue level, you might want to start letting go. So if you still haven't let go of your XRP, I am sorry for you. I feel bad for you because, price of XRP is basically down and it just keeps bleeding. It just doesn't stop. And I wouldn't be surprised until, price comes back down to this red level. Anywhere between 13 and 1500 sats, I still think price could come down all the way over here. Because I personally don't think Bitcoin is done bleeding. And as long as Bitcoin bleeds, alts will definitely bleed. Even the Bitcoin dominance, as I pointed out before, it's in this sort of tightening wedge. And it's starting to break out or break down already. You can see right here. There's that wedge that I drew, and here's that bear cross that we had on the MACD of the Bitcoin dominance, and the bearish divergence, which is lower high on the RSI and higher high in price. So I think the dominance is already starting to, kind of curl back around. I don't think that, we can already start raising the flag up for alt season just yet. Because I still think that as per this high right here, right, on dominance in Bitcoin, price pre-ICO, season in July 7, 2017 went all the way to a high of about 77.5%, the Bitcoin dominance. Here we only reached a high of about 73.5, okay? Right here the high was actually 73.4 or so, okay? So, could still go up to this high and then curl back around. Okay, so we still got maybe a little bit more pain to inflict on alts. All right. Let's see how Litecoin is doing. I know people wanted me to check on Litecoin. Here's that 3-day chart. Litecoin is still actually stuck in its own descending trend line. Nothing really special on Litecoin. It's kind of just bleeding. For the most part, alts are just really just getting hammered away. And I don't see any turnaround just yet. I guess you could think about, once price breaks out of this yellow trend line, then you can consider getting back in. But until then, I don't know. It's kind of risky. This movement right here makes me feel a little bit better because now we've had about 9 or 10 days right here in the last 4 or 5 candle cluster that we're actually just moving sideways and potentially creating higher lows. Let's see. Yeah, you can see actually right here, there's some higher lows right here in price. So this was a low that was put in around dollars or so, and this is a higher low. So as long as price doesn't hit this trend line and then come back down here again and take out this low, Litecoin could be a potentially, I don't know, I guess a proper bet to quote unquote, catch the falling knife if you set your stop properly. Again, not investment advice, but it could be actually, kind of beneficial, could pay off well. Especially actually this kind of looks like even a double bottom like this, So yeah, do your own research and see if this actually is something that you want to get into. Okay. Other than that, that's it, folks. I wanted to keep this analysis short, but we went longer than expected. Again, I still do think that we may want to wait till the end of day to figure out what the heck is going on with the price of Bitcoin. Let's see. Actually, this is the other chart that I had, not the euro. No one cares about the euro, right? All right. Yeah, 4-hour chart still just bleeding. I mean, all these wicks tell you that there's just like a lot of indecision in where the price wants to go. Someone is really trying to do their best to hold on to their position of either a long or short. I can't really tell right now because it's really just, equal amount of like force or power just holding the price in this particular range. But, remains to be seen what happens at the end of the day, right? All right, folks, I hope you enjoy my analysis. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoy my content, and come join the Cryptosomniac Advantage program. All right, take care, cheers, and I hope to see y'all soon.